On today's installation video, we'll be showing you how to install a RaceChip on an Alfa Romeo Giulia 2.0. Before installing the RaceChip, please wait until your engine is cool enough to work on. Put your parking brake or emergency brake on. If your vehicle is equipped with an alarm system, please disable it. Pop the hood, roll up the windows, close the doors, and press the lock button on your key fob and move that key fob 30 feet away. You're going to wait about 10 minutes after for all the electricity to clear from underneath the hood. First step on the installation is to remove the two black plastic covers on the engine, which will reveal two 10mm bolts. Go ahead and take those off. And then gently pick up to remove the plastic engine cover. Next up, we're going to remove the two 10mm bolts holding the plastic engine cover on the passenger side. Last thing to do before we remove the cover is undo this plastic snap to get the fluid line released. And then we're going to gently pick up to remove the plastic cover. There we go. For the 2.0 on the Alfa Romeos, we're going to be connecting A to the pressure sensor on the manifold here. B will be on the boost pressure sensor right here. So we're going to start with the A connection here, which is the boost pressure sensor on the manifold itself. To remove the manifold pressure sensor, we're first going to pull back on the small gray locking tab on the back. For this application, I'm going to use a small screwdriver to pop it back. And then I'm going to press down and pull back on the plug, not on the wires, but on the plug itself. Then we will take the RaceChip wiring harness. We'll take the female end of the RaceChip wiring harness. We're going to connect it to the male end of the OEM sensors. Now, it's very important that the smooth side of the RaceChip wiring harness is going onto the gray locking tab of the OEM male connection. I'll push that until it locks and press down the gray locking tab until it snaps. Then you'll take the male end of the RaceChip wiring harness, same thing, gray locking tab facing up, and put it right onto the OEM sensor. Push until it locks, push the gray tab on until it snaps. Next up is the B connection going onto the boost pressure sensor on the turbo inlet pipe. Same as the A, we're going to press back on the locking tab, push down until it unsnaps. Then we're going to take the female end of the RaceChip wiring harness. Smooth side goes onto the gray locking tab side. Press it on there till it locks. And then take the male end of the RaceChip wiring harness, put it onto that OEM sensor, and press the gray locking tab to make sure it locks. Using the smaller of the supplied zip ties, next up you're going to route the RaceChip wiring harness away from any hot or moving parts. Make sure if you're going to zip tie into any electrical lines, you don't zip tie too tight as to pinch off any of the electrical lines or fluid lines if you zip tie on there. Next up is to install the actual RaceChip itself. You're going to use the 4 supplied mounting tabs to mount the RaceChip. The really nice thing about these is you can run your zip tie north and south or east and west. Also, if you ever need to remove the RaceChip, you can press these 4 tabs on the outside to leave the zip ties and tabs in place and just remove the RaceChip. Next up is to actually install the RaceChip unit itself. To do so, we're first going to remove the deactivation plug. Now, it's really important that you hang on to this little device. If you ever need to revert your car back to stock or take it in for any service, you can place the deactivation plug in place of the RaceChip to revert the car back to stock. I suggest leaving this in your glove box or maybe your center console. So to remove the deactivation plug, I'm going to grab that purple FCI plug, pull directly away, pull the deactivation plug out, and then we're going to install the RaceChip directly into its place. It's really important the first time we install the RaceChip, if you have the GTS, you get no LED lights, or the RS or the S, you get no green LED light. We want to make sure there's no power going to the system the first time we install the unit. Before we reinstall the plastic engine covers, we're We're gonna cut the excess ends off of our zip ties to leave the RaceChip with a nice OEM look. Next, we're gonna reinstall the plastic engine cover between the passenger side of the motor. Make sure you get the 2 pins inside the rubber grommets at the bottom here. And reinsert your hoses into the plastic snaps. Last but not least is to reinstall the plastic engine cover. Start in the default setting of the RaceChip for the first time you test drive the car. If everything works great, you can then move the RaceChip to the next level up. Be aware that the car needs some time to adapt before releasing the full performance upgrade. Now, get out, drive, and enjoy your RaceChip.